welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Hello, I'm Billy Coppin, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Gay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
All right, Josh, open us up, buddy. You ready?
With the song that you created?
No, it's just good morning, Huntsville.
Oh, good morning, Huntsville.
Hey, we need to zoom in that camera a little bit more. Do you want to just make up stuff for a second, and then I'm just gonna hop up, and then I'm gonna adjust the camera, and you just tell us whatever's on your heart, okay, Josh?
Okay.
See, you've been on this show enough now to fill in for Pastor Jason. You know what's up, all right?
Yeah. Well, Rob was talking about how McDonald's is really delicious, and the app lures you in every single time. So I've been buying a lot of McDonald's recently, and I've been feeling gross every time I buy it. But I told my youth pastor to hold me accountable, and now I can't buy McDonald's, and I have 10,000 points on the app to waste.
Send them to me.
Ice cream.
Can you send them to me?
No.
You can't share the points?
I wish.
Oh, man, yeah. This is why you need to pay $100 a month for the behind the scenes. That we're going to start that up. We're going to have a camera in the corner of the studio, and you can hear all the fun riffraff that goes on behind the scenes. Poor Melanie's here from St. Joseph Hospice. She's got to be part of it this morning. We'll have her on in just a little bit. We're excited. She's the volunteer coordinator. We'll be talking about some opportunities that you can make a direct impact on families in need this morning. But we do want to welcome you in as we rock and roll here on another episode of Good Morning Huntsville. It is episode number 546. Big thank you to our friend Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com for all of your jewelry needs. Get that appointment set up. Josh, one day, brother, one day. You're going to get to go down there and say, Mr. Herzlich, I need a wedding band. And when you do, you're going to say, I want something masculine. I don't want the standard, ordinary little thing. I want something that stands out. And I did that with Elliot. And check that out, man. He did a hammered gold with white gold and then yellow gold. But see how he hammered it? That's kind of masculine, right?
Yeah.
And then he put a little stud in there. Now you're probably thinking, man, that thing's pricey. No, he hooked me up. Those studs aren't that expensive at all. I got one in the middle for Bridget, one for us. And then when we had our children, I added one. So now I've got three on there. Bridget wants it to go all the way around. I said, No, 3. We're okay right there now. So, and by the way, happy birthday to my son, Caden, who is 2 years old today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Caden, my little buddy. I call him my handsome ham because he was born 12 pounds, 11 ounces. He was a big boy, and the hospital there in the Woodlands said that they hadn't seen a boy that big in a long time, in a couple of decades, the nurse said. And I was hoping he'd get in the paper, but the paper had no interest in oversized children that week. They used to.
Funny.
Josh, back in the day, the paper would tell everybody everything. And I subscribed to these archives one time, and it was so neat because I was typing in my family members, and I found my uncle in there. And it talked about how he had contracted polio. That was a big deal back then. People got polio quite a bit before the vaccine. And it was talking about, I think it was him, and it was talking about, I think it was polio. It was talking about how sick he was. Well, that's HIPAA violations now, And there was another story in there about my dad, and it was like, Charles Hipp celebrated his 8th birthday this past weekend. He enjoyed ice cream with cousins. I mean, this was the news back then, we lived in a much simpler time, so we didn't have to report on bad things. Yeah. It was kind of like the original Hello Huntsville, all good news back then, It was kind of neat.
That is cool. Was that in Georgetown?
No, it was down in Carrizo Springs in the valley in South Texas, down in that area. Yeah, it was kind of neat. And actually, no, they grew up there, but it was Crystal City, I believe. Well, my sister, if she's watching, she'll know exactly the full details. But all of that was in the paper. It was so neat to see all of those things. Yeah. I wanted to hop back for a brief moment. Speaking of McDonald's, oh man, it's been a long time coming, friends. Whenever I saw a headline last night that popped up on the screen, and it said it's coming back, and I immediately thought of the Golden Arch Deluxe. I said, "Oh man, the Arch Deluxe is back."
That sounds good.
Yeah,
I want to try.
All it is like a special bun with a little crease in it. They try to make this big deal. It's not the Arch Deluxe, but whenever I showed this on the screen, Joshua Mashi sitting next to me, the first 2 words out of his mouth were, "Oh dear," and then followed by, "That looks horrible." We almost ended our friendship on this one, but we came back together under the banner of the Lord and said, we're going to be friends, man. We're brothers in Christ.
Amen.
The snack wrap is making a return today at McDonald's, and if you don't know what it is good. Don't let the picture throw you off, Josh.
It looks like Taco Bell, but like the off-brand of Taco Bell.
Yeah, but Taco Bell's, they weren't in the chicken game first, McDonald's was in the chicken game with the McChicken and all that. They put a tortilla, looks like really healthy dose of lettuce there. Look how healthy that cheese looks. I mean, it just looks like it's fresh cheese right off the block. And then they put a chicken strip in that bad boy and they wrap it up.
And what's this white cream?
Oh, man, that's that sauce. Just like the Big Mac sauce, right?
I don't eat Big Macs.
Well, you're missing. Our friendship may be declining again after this brief
I
moment.
only eat chicken at McDonald's. Whatever's chicken, I eat it.
Okay, well, there it is. That's the chicken.
Yeah, but
so how would you not want the chicken wrap, man? The snack wrap.
I don't know. It looks like off-brand Taco Bell. I don't even eat chicken at Taco Bell.
I made a huge mistake yesterday. I have the Get Upside app. By the way, it works. Have you heard of Get Upside?
No.
You need to get it, buddy. That's why they call it Get Upside. The Get Upside app connects you to discounts all over your town or wherever you're at. It's free of charge, doesn't charge anything. And what's neat about it is you can find ways to get cash back on places that you may frequently go to. One of them is gas, like the Sunoco 7-Eleven. They have discounts all the time. Like right now, it's 4 cents back on regular. The Shell gas station. Now, it's kind of misleading because the Shell gas station's at $3 right now. 12 cents off is at $2.88. Well, there's gas selling for cheaper than $2.88 in town. So you do have to do a little research. But, I mean, here, the gas is at $2.70 with a discount. $2.59 at Valero. That's a good deal. 1 cent back on that. Sometimes you'll see stuff. The other day, I had one that was 23 cents back per gallon. And I cashed out. And what's neat about it is, yes, you'll get the money, and then it goes into an account, and you can cash that money out directly to your bank account or to gift cards. And it's legit. I've been using it now for probably about 2 years, and I think over the history of everything, I honestly have gotten back, I don't know, almost $200, man. Papa John's is on there. Here's the thing about Papa, Papa's in the house. let me tell you about Papa, all right? I use another, I'm like the Martha Stewart of the computer these days, buddy. You know, like the craft lady, but I'm always the coupon hunter nowadays. When you get older and have children, you'll change and you'll start hunting coupons. So, okay, see, without children and young. I love this. You're changing the narrative, Joshua. But I was on the Papa John's, and I have a thing called the Retail Me Not, and then Capital One Shopping has a little app and all this stuff, and it finds the codes that work. And so I always get like 60% off, or not 60% off. That's on Walgreens. See, I'm getting them mixed up. That's on photos from Walgreens.
Yeah.
I get 25% off Papa John's. Not only that, but the Upside app works with Papa John's. So I'm walking out of Papa John's with I'm talking an extra large pizza and breadsticks. By the time I get all my discounts and everything, sometimes I'm walking out of there with it's only $12. Not bad for these days.
Yeah.
So
and you're
take
getting
advantage.
a deal. Do you have to pay for the app?
No, it's free. That's what's awesome about it. I'm going to send you an invitation link because I'll get 15 cents off my next gallon of gas, and so will you. So I'm going to send you an invitation later today, Josh. Off all my referrals, I have referred 9 people that have joined. Guess what I've made from those 9 referrals, brother? I am rolling in it. Not to brag. $1.13 lifetime. The referrals, you don't get much. Because I tell people, and then they don't end up using the app. If they would use the app, you'd get a little bit more. But, yeah, I mean, I've been using it forever. And
hey, I'll use it.
Yeah, oh, I lied to you. Look, lifetime earnings, $228. That's what I've gotten back from the app.
So they give you back that cash?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, like yesterday, I told you I went to Taco Bell. I shouldn't have, but I did. And let me just stay on this fast food train real quick because it is catching up to me. This shirt looks horrible on me, by the way. It's hugging every part of my body. I put on these – you don't have this problem, John. You will. I put on these shorts this morning, and it's like super tight on my waist. Mm-hmm. I told Bridget, I said, are these okay? She goes, yeah, they look a little tight on you, though. And so that's what the fast food's going to do to you.
Yeah.
Taco Bell yesterday had 10% cash back. Taco Bell app is dangerous because it says how much are you willing to spend on your food today. Yeah. So if you put in $15, it's going to tell you it's going to throw out a bunch of random stuff. Buddy, it threw out a lot, and I was hungry. I said, okay. So I loaded up yesterday. But I did the app super easy. After I'd already went through, I just said, I'm going to claim this. And it has something to do with the way the credit cards are read and all that kind of stuff through their system. So you don't have to do anything extra other than put in your credit card. And it knows that you tell it that you use that card to pay for it. And then, boom, I got back $1.55 yesterday on my Taco Bell.
And so how can you get that money back?
You just cash out. Sometimes it takes a couple of days, sometimes a couple of hours. And then in the app, you just say cash out. And then they'll send it to your bank account or a gift card.
That's crazy.
Yep. Papa John's, $1.40 the other day, right there. $1.40 back on Papa. Look at this from May, though. This was the one that was awesome because I bought a bunch of different – I spent $29 at Papa John's, and I got back $8.95. That was a good day.
Can I take stuff like from my friends if they buy stuff?
Yeah, well, you got to put your information on their app. I think that'll violate the terms of service, Joshua. That wouldn't be honorable, young man. So, yeah. All right. Well, that is my talk this morning. We have a great day lined up. Do us a favor and let us know what discounts you are always hunting. Where is your favorite coupon thing? Guys especially. I need the men to chime in this morning. Do you have a coupon addiction like me? A hidden addiction to coupons. Is it coupons or coupons?
Coupons.
Or coupons?
No, coupons.
You almost said coupons. Do you like to go coupon? Do you like to look for the coupons?
Coupon hunting.
And ladies, chime in as well. I want to know your thoughts. Do you use coupon? Now I'm confused. Coupons.
Coupons.
It sounds such a weird word. Do you use coupons? Or do you think that they're too much of a hassle?
No, I use coupons all the time.
I'm going to start a training, like a lunch and learn on teaching people how to use plugins and browsers to get discounts. Because, buddy, they flood. When I go to Walgreens, I have those plugins on my Chrome browser, and it'll start searching every code out there, and I'll usually get 60% off. I feel so bad because those people don't make any – they lose money when I go in there. I'll order posters that are normally like $58.
Yeah.
The other day I got one for like $20. The paper and the ink are more than that probably.
Yeah. I always use the promo codes on the apps just so I could get the photos for less.
You're learning at a young age. I'm very proud of you, Joshua. Hey, good show lined up today. We may or may not. I've got a friend that I connected with over the week. We'll switch tones real quick. A friend that I connected with over this, actually yesterday, a really nice guy down in the San Angelo area, and I'm hoping that he said he's in meetings this morning, and if he can get out of his meetings in time, he is going to join us remotely, a gentleman by the name of Ernesto Campos. Ernesto is involved in prison ministries in San Angelo. He's also a community organizer, and it's legit. I've checked him out. I've looked, other people. You know, anytime that you meet somebody new, you want to make sure, and a very, very nice guy, on fire for the Lord. Got some amazing stuff that he's put out there on Facebook. But San Angelo got hit really hard, too. I think a lot of friends are forgetting about other areas outside of Kerrville, and that's why we started our donation drive here at First Baptist, teaming up with First Baptist, and many other churches have came along. I just wanted, and I got to be careful of mentioning because I'll probably forget somebody, but Northside Baptist has shared information. A lot of their congregation has came here. Our friends at Cook Springs Baptist have came here. Elkins Lake Baptist Church, that's Pastor Andrew Barrett over there. We appreciate them as well. Christ the King Methodist spoke with Reverend Jeff Powers the other day. Really good friend of mine. Love Reverend Powers. He's a great man of the Lord, and he said that he was sending people our way. First Presbyterian Church has sent people. And I love this because this is the body of Christ.
Amen.
I've always said that people get a little out of bounds. I don't want to say out of bounds because that sounds wrong, but people get a little bit, you'll know the right word, Josh, that I'm trying to say. They don't come to an agreement on the theology sometimes.
Yeah.
But as long as the church believes in Jesus Christ, that he came, died for our sins, rose again, shed our blood, and that we have to have a relationship with him, and he's the only way, then I'm okay with that. And the body of Christ, I believe, is the followers of Jesus Christ. And I love that this community has came together in a way that I've been praying for years. I literally have been praying, saying, Lord, what can we do as a community of believers to come together and look past certain nuances that maybe different churches say, well, you know, we believe in this or this or this flavor or that flavor, you know. Some people like strawberry, some people like grape, right? But as long as the main thing is Jesus, because everybody likes sugar in their Kool-Aid, let's be honest. You got to have sugar in your Kool-Aid. And so if everybody, I'm comparing Jesus to sugar and Kool-Aid, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And so I just want to say, in all seriousness, thank you to the Huntsville community and to our church community for stepping up. I also want to give a really big thank you to Brenda Poe over at the Huntsville Item. She didn't have to put that article out there the way she did, but she did, and the response has been tremendous. Half of our gym at the Family Life Center is full of items. And the reason that I wanted to have Ernesto say a few things, if he's able to, is because there are a lot of things out there online saying we don't need anything else. In fact, a few people texted me over the week saying, hey, I want to encourage you guys to stop accepting donated items and just accept cash because people don't need those things anymore. And I said, no, they do, because we've been making phone calls. Big organizations like the Salvation Army, who do phenomenal work, and the American Red Cross, there's many others, those organizations are saying, halt the donations. We've got too many. We've got so much that we can't handle it. But there are people that I wouldn't say that are getting overlooked, but they do have needs. Ernesto and his group have needs. We connected with a church there as well. We may end up going to that church if we can get there before 6 o'clock tomorrow evening also to donate items. I reached out to a former high school baseball coach. It's now assistant baseball coach at Angelo State University. He told me the same thing right away. He goes, man, all I'm hearing is that people, that they are overflowing with stuff and they don't need any more items. He said, but let me double check. Well, that double check opened up the door and said, no, actually, our church said that they will accept items. And Ernesto told me that some of the stuff that's coming in, what he's receiving, is gone the same day. So there is a need. And we are going to be going tomorrow, starting, we're going to leave here early in the morning after the show. We're going to go to Georgetown. We're heading to Burnett. That's the area that I'm from, in Georgetown and Burnett area. In fact, I was in Burnett this past weekend during the flooding that happened. And then from there, we're going to make our way to San Saba, Texas, and then to San Angelo. So that is where we'll be, and it's going to be a really fun day of driving. We did the mileage, about 900 miles round trip is what it's going to be. But it's all worth it, and we're just thankful. one final thing, and I don't know how this is going to work, the Rotary Club of San Angelo, I had reached out to them as a Rotarian. I reached out to our fellow club there in San Angelo, and they said, we're going to need manpower. I mean, they just straight up said, we're going to need manpower. Apparently, there was over 12,000 homes affected by the flooding in San Angelo alone. 12,000, Joshua. Think about that. It's unimaginable.
That's 12,000 families.
And they're not ready for the cleanup just yet. And so you're going to hear in the coming weeks. I know when my house flooded in 2010 from Tropical Storm Hermine, I was so depressed over that I let that house sit for months. I left and got an apartment. I was about to just let the home go into foreclosure. That's how depressed I was over it. I didn't have the energy to deal with it. Luckily, I didn't lose the home. I ended up getting it back. But we had so much water damage in that house, and it was so depressing walking into it that I said, I can't do this. And it was months before we started the cleanup process. And let me tell you one other thing. If you ain't got power in your house and you got a frozen chicken in the freezer, I don't know how things grow in that chicken when that door don't open, but there are things that grow in that chicken. There are little wormy things, and poor Melanie over here is like, what did I get into this morning? There are things in that chicken that, like, how does that happen? And let me tell you, chicken, any type of meat in a freezer when you ain't had power, smells pretty sour.
Oh, that's a good rhyme.
You picking up on the hour of power? When the chicken smells sour? All right.
That should be in your next rap song.
Oh, it's coming up. So a few other things that we'll go over a little bit later today. I wanted to mention we'll talk a little bit about doom scrolling. That's kind of the new trendy phrase. We'll talk about that later. Maybe something to do with a little weird news also. And classic Coca-Cola. Classic Coke.
I love Coke.
Yeah. We'll be talking about that a little bit later this morning. Maybe tattoos, tiaras, and a tax-free Wyoming also. So a few things that have nothing to do with Huntsville, but will keep you slightly entertained this morning.
All right.
Joshua Mashi is here. I didn't formally introduce him, but thank you to Joshua Mashi being here this morning. He is awesome youth here at First Baptist. He's been with us the last couple of weeks. Oh, yeah. No, you're college now. He college man. He's been out of the youth for a hot minute. College man over here.
I still help with the youth. That's why.
He's a youth helper, but he's college man over here. Joshua has been an extraordinary young man here, and we're so thankful for him and his family. Joshua came here from Lebanon, and last week you heard a little bit of his travels back to Lebanon. And is your mom back yet?
No, sir.
When is she coming back?
She leaves the 29th.
So she's been there for a while. Your dad was back. I ran into him at HEB. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
wait, yesterday?
No, the other day. Not yesterday. A couple days ago. He was on his phone. He was looking down as he was walking through the parking lot, and I wanted to be like, "Hey, man," and just kind of startle him. But I was like, "Nah, I respect your dad too much to joke with him like that." And
was that on Sunday?
Might have been. Did he say that he ran into me by any chance?
I don't know.
I complimented you guys to him. I said, Mr. Mashi, I just want to tell you. Do they say Mr. and Mrs. in Lebanon, or you just say their name?
If you're friends with them, you just say
their name.
Yeah.
See, to me, even if I'm friends with like I'm friends with your dad, but to say Robbie, that wouldn't feel right. So it's Mr. Mashi.
Yeah.
That's how in East Texas. That's how it is. And so I saw him and I said, and I complimented you guys. I said, Miss, and I tell him every time I see him, I said, man, I just want to tell you, y'all have just been such tremendous family. And I said, I really think the world of y'all's sons. And I said, they are excellent young men. He's like, well, thank you. And so I always compliment y'all. So I wanted to pass that along, Josh. You're a good man.
I appreciate that.
And slip me that 20 after the show if you don't mind, all right? Because I need some gas today, buddy.
I need some gas, too.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. Miss Melanie Strickland is here from St. Joseph's Hospice. She's the volunteer coordinator. We're going to be talking with her about some awesome opportunities for you to get involved and make a difference here in Huntsville. Hey, this week, guess what? No keyword this week. We ain't giving away anything this week because we want you to come here to First Baptist and help with the donation drive. And so pay that back a little bit this week if you don't mind. We're still looking for quite a few items, and I did want to mention those before we take this first break. We're here until 6 o'clock, starting from 9 to 6 here today. And I do want to mention, oh, sweet, K-Star. I love that. I've reached out to other local media, and no one's responded, but K-Star, our friends at K-Star, the most listened to station here in this area, great friends over there at K-Star 99.7 just said that we are going to mention all of this in our 8 a.m. newscast. So thank you to probably happening right now. So big thank you to Lisa and our friends there at K-Star 99.7. We're in need of these items, by the way. N95 masks, heavy-duty construction, as we used to say in Fargo, bags, heavy-duty construction bags. You want to say that? Bags?
Bags.
Bags. You got to have it with a little bags. They call, like, we call that game cornhole here. They call it bags up there.
Bags.
Bags. I'm like, guys, it's not called bags. It's called cornhole. Y'all need to get it right, man. So heavy duty construction bags, long heavy gloves. What does that mean? Like the ones that someone sent this to us, and
I think the rough ones that are for construction.
But poor people don't want to have heavy gloves. They're trying to lift things. They don't need heavy gloves. I think it meant heavy duty gloves. So long heavy gloves. You know what I'm saying though. Bug spray is a big one too. Bleach, duct tape, Visa gift cards, Gatorade, size 6 and 7 diapers. If you have other diapers, that's okay, or wipies as well. Children's clothing. We put out a message yesterday saying no clothing, please. Socks are okay, but children's clothing is a big need right now. And I would say up until about 12 years old. So from baby to 12, any other clothing that we've already received or any other items, we are actually going to be having a garage sale here in the coming weeks. I did this in Georgetown, a donation garage sale. We ended up raising over $3,000 just from the abundance of clothes that we had. So any of those items, if they don't make it there, trust me, they are going to go in some shape or form monetarily to give back. So everything that you're donating is going to be put to use. So again, if you can come by today, final day to do this. We're leaving tomorrow, 26-foot box trucks heading out of here tomorrow at 9 a.m. We need N95 mask, heavy-duty construction bags, long heavy gloves, bug spray, bleach, duct tape, Visa gift cards, Gatorade, those diapers, preferably size 6 and 7, children's clothing, and wipes. So that is everything that we need for our friends in the Texas Hill Country. So let's take that break. Melanie's charging me by the hour or by the minute, so I've got to take a break. We will have her on and connect here in just a few moments. As always, we are here on a very thankful Thursday, and it's brought to you by First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope in our community. Visit us online at fbchuntsville.org. We'll be back in a few moments. Stay with us. It's your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville here on a very, very thankful Thursday. Stay with us.
The church should be transformational. And maybe you've never been to church, or maybe life has left you feeling lost, but Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." At First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope, we're not trying to fit in with the world. We're here to help you step into something greater, a fresh start, a new life in Christ. Join us this Sunday at 10:45 and see what God can do in your life. Visit fbchuntsville.org. Hope is here, and we're saving a seat just for you.
Loving Jesus, loving people side by side. In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope.
At Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, we're not just a place where children pass the time. We're not a daycare. We're a child care center focused on growth, learning, and discovery. Every day, children engage in meaningful activities that build confidence, independence, and a love for learning. From reading and math to social and practical life skills, our students are active participants in their development. Ready to give your child something more? Visit tomorrowspromise.info and discover what makes our school different. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. Education you can trust.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
Imagine a voice of hope reaching every corner of Huntsville, from homes and hospitals to prison walls. That's the heart of Spirit Radio. We're a truly local 501c3 nonprofit, and we're raising $25,000 to build our tower and get on the air. With your help, we'll broadcast encouragement, truth, and the love of Christ across our community and across the world through the Spirit Radio FM app. Visit spiritradio.fm and give today. Let's bring light to Huntsville and beyond together.
This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Jason Bay, the pastor at First Baptist Church, Huntsville, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
All right, friends, welcome back as we continue on this journey telling great stories of Huntsville and throwing in a little McDonald's here and there and other stuff. 74 degrees. How about a nice 100% humidity today? So grateful to walk outside. So as you walk out this morning, get your great-great-grandfather's sword out of the attic that's dusted up and in storage, and just make sure you slice through the air as you walk out of your home this morning. 40% chance of rain today, mainly after 11 a.m. High of 92, low of 75. Slight chance of storms, then clear. And tomorrow, 20% chance. More of the same. We'll continue, though. But Saturday, rain chances will increase to 50% and then 40% on Sunday. So kind of a steady forecast. We've been seeing the mornings have been nice and overcast here, and then in the afternoon, the rain comes in. I do want to tell people and encourage them, even if it is raining, we are still accepting items, so please don't let the rain deter you. At the Family Life Center, we have a carport that you can back into, and we will come out. Just honk the horn if we're not out there. I promise we are listening, we are looking, and we will come out and receive those items. Let's have a huge day today to help out our friends there in the Texas Hill Country. Well, I'm excited because I haven't even turned on the camera yet. We are joined by a visitor all the way in from Shepherd, Texas, 50-minute drive and all that wonderful traffic. None other than Miss Melanie Strickland, the volunteer coordinator at St. Joseph. Good to see you this morning.
Thank you for having me on, Rob. Nice to be here.
I do want to say beautiful blue, by the way. I like the blue jacket.
Thank you.
So,
I like it.
And the necklace, can you tell us? When I see jewelry, I always like to ask about it. What's the jewelry?
So there's a smiley face on it.
Okay.
And then there's another little charm that says smile.
I love that.
So, yeah, it just kind of helps cheer you up first thing in the morning. And when you meet people, it's like, oh, okay, we can smile today.
Awesome. See, I've noticed, so it's serving its purpose.
Thank
you
you
for
much.
that. You bet. Well, Melanie, you and I have, I feel like we've met several times, but maybe it was just that one time there at the Walker Education Center when there was the Lions Club was putting on the health fair. Is that right?
I believe that was the first time we met. Possibly last year when they had the event, we may have met at that time as well. But yeah. Maybe so. I'm not sure.
I think when you're in this part of Texas, though, it just feels like everybody's friends regardless, you know?
Absolutely. And I go to so many events that it's kind of hard to keep up, honestly, because we do marketing and outreach, for our hospice. And so.
Well, it's great. Well, we have you on today. You are the volunteer coordinator with St. Joseph's Hospice. Before we dig into that, that's why you're here. We want to talk about some opportunities because we really want folks to get involved and help out. But before we do that, let's just get to know you a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your story, anything you'd like to talk about, family-wise, how you got to Huntsville or this area, just those kind of things. Everything, if you don't mind, except your Social Security number.
Okay, great. Okay, so I first came to hospice about 7 or 8 years ago. I was actually a realtor. And so I had to learn how to do marketing, right? Because you're self-employed, so you have to put yourself out there. You have to learn how to meet people and how to speak about your product, which at the time was, of course, real estate. Well, I saw an ad in the paper for a bake sale that a local hospice was having in the Livingston area because I don't live too far from Livingston. So I called the volunteer coordinator and I said, would it be okay if I brought some cookies to kind of, help with the Alzheimer's, raising money for the Alzheimer's Association? She's like, sure. That would be really great. So I went, spent the day with her at the bake sale to raise money for the Alzheimer's Association. At the end of the day, she said, I just want you to know I'm going to be leaving this position, and I think you would be great. Would you be interested? I'm like, I don't know if I will be interested or not. So I was like, well, tell me more. She said, well, let me call my boss, and maybe you can come for an interview. Went the next day for an interview. Was hired as the new volunteer coordinator. Never even was on my
on your radar
at all, to be a volunteer coordinator for a hospice. But I really loved it, and I think the main reason that I really enjoyed at that time and now as well being a volunteer coordinator was because I get to work with a lot of people in the senior population. I was raised by my grandparents, for the most part, my mother's parents. So I was used to being around, the senior community, and it just really means a lot for me to be able to help that demographic in our society. I feel like a lot of times they are forgotten. They get very lonely.
Yeah.
I kind of get choked up. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
But it just really means a lot. So when I had the opportunity to go to work for St. Joseph Hospice again, I said, sure, count me in. So I've been here about a year. Our office is in Conroe. We do have a lot of patients in the Huntsville area that need volunteers. I have a list right now of actual people in Huntsville that are our families that need volunteers. So.
Yeah, I want to talk about that here in just a few moments, that need. I wanted to bring Josh into the conversation as well. Josh, I always give Josh compliments because he just studies God's Word so much as Christians. We all should. Josh is just a wonderful student of the Bible. And Josh, I wanted to bring you into this conversation because we're called to be compassionate. And I think there's so many ways to be compassionate, but especially with our elders. Maybe chime in a little bit, with hospice and how people, Josh, they go in and they love on people. Maybe chime in kind of that aspect, Josh, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Jesus says, whatever you do unto others, you're doing that to me. And he talks about multiple things like you fed the hungry, you sheltered the homeless, you visited those in prison. And like that, the Lord counts that as faithfulness, and the Lord counts that as if you're doing that to him. And compassionate is not feeling pity for someone, but empathy. And so you're putting yourself in other people's shoes. And so that's when you're driven to act with love. And so
I love that.
God bless you
very
guys.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yes, that is so true.
I love when the word when he said compassion and love.
Yes.
You think about, and that's exactly hospice.
It is absolutely.
People are, and I know you hear rare instances of people going on hospice and then coming off of it for certain situations. Maybe it's medicine that they need and those kind of things. But for the most part, if you're on hospice, that's end of life care, guaranteed. You're able to love on these people in their final moments. And I've had numerous family members, through multiple sides of the family that have been put on hospice before. Maybe just highlight, the need for people to be there, these volunteers. I know you said y'all have people right here in Huntsville. What would a volunteer do? What does that look like? The training, all of those kind of things. Because maybe somebody's nervous. People get. I've learned over the last, and I'm sorry I keep rambling on, but I just wanted to extend on this because, in the years past, I would have been nervous about death. But death, while it is painful in some sense, it's also a time that could be a transition to peace for some people. Maybe there's somebody out there that says, I want to help and I want to be a part of hospice and help out, but I'm just scared. I'm scared to be in that moment. Maybe highlight a few of those things too, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I would say that hospice care is definitely a transition in someone's life. And like you said, it could be absolutely for a time of peace, a time to maybe see family members that you haven't seen in a while, to get them to come in. And our volunteers are really good at just being there, just being a companion for that patient. If you think about it, a lot of times when people go on hospice, they've lost their social connections. They're not able to go to church anymore. They don't get to go out and eat anymore. They're just basically at home, with their caregiver. And so you also want to think about the caregivers as well, because a lot of times they don't have anyone to come and relieve them so that they can go and keep their doctor's appointment. Or maybe they need to go get their hair cut or just whatever kind of errands they need to read. So what our volunteers do mainly is come in the home, and we are a companionship volunteer. It's not only for the patient, but it's also for the caregiver as well. Sometimes they just need to vent. Sometimes they, just really need to talk to someone about what they're feeling, and we meet people where they are. We join their lives. We don't try to go in and change who they are or what they do or what they think, because every family has their own demographic. They have their own way of being, for generations maybe. So we just go in and we help comfort, the compassion, the communication. Those are all things that we work together as a team to provide to our families. And I have a great volunteer team. So basically what you could do, you could go to thecarpenterhealthnetwork.com and you click on the volunteering tab, and there's a short form, and you fill that out, and our corporate office sends that to me. And then I would reach out through email, and we would connect like that. And then once we get your application filled out and your background check filled out, then you can come in for a training with me, and that's like 2.5 or 3 hours. And you learn all about what hospice is, what hospice isn't. Because a lot of people have misconceptions about hospice. So we go through that. We learn about the history of hospice. We learn how to communicate with the family members. And just basically, that's what it entails. I find that people have a lot of questions when they come in for training, which is really cool because we get to go through all of that. And I get to learn a lot about my volunteers. I have several college students from Sam Houston that volunteer. Awesome. Of course, now it's summer, so things are a little slow. If you don't mind, I'd like to tell you some of our greatest needs that we have.
Yes,
I
please,
feel
yeah.
like I don't currently have any men volunteers, so it'd be really great to have a couple of men volunteers to visit with our male patients. I think they would really appreciate that. We also are part of the We Honor Veterans program. So we could have veteran volunteers would be welcome to come and visit as well with our veteran patients or with any patients. Let's see. We can also do haircuts for the patients and caregivers, because like I said earlier, they're stuck at home. So we would love to have hairdressers and barbers. You can be retired. You don't have to be a current hairdresser or barber. So that would be really awesome.
I like how you said you said the patients and the caregivers.
Yes,
so
we can cut the caregiver's hair as well.
So if Joshua becomes a caregiver, we can finally get that haircut a little bit, Joshua.
We don't need to cut those curls off.
Thank you.
So I have curly hair, so I get it. But yeah, so that's just, some of the things we need. And of course, just, basic companionship, just someone to be there to visit, because people do get lonely. Yeah. We have patients at homes and in facilities. And we also can use administrative volunteers at the Conroe office. So that's something to think about. If someone doesn't want to go into a home, but they still want to help in the hospice community, they could come into the office and help do some administrative tasks.
That's great. There's
so
so many opportunities.
There is a lot.
Huntsville is such a giving community. We've seen that here through our donation drive for the Hill Country. And in that same sense, I think there's a lot of people out there today saying, you know what, maybe I'm retired. Maybe I'm not even retired. Maybe I just work a few days a week and I've got some time on the side. There's a man out there, as Melanie said, they're in need of male volunteers as well. Be a part of this great opportunity to help and to be with people and what could be their biggest time of need. Someone to be there, to comfort them, to love them, to share life with them. I think it's so important that we do that. And you can find out more information. Again, that website is thecarpenterhealthnetwork.com. Can people connect with you directly also? Is there a number maybe you could give out or anything like that you're okay to give out or some a way?
I can give my email if
yeah,
that's
let's
okay.
do that. Yeah, sure.
Okay, it's M Strickland at stjosephhospice.com.
That's St. Joseph Hospice, or is it SAINT?
St.
St. Joseph, JOSEPH, hospice.com.
Yeah, Saint. It's M Strickland at stjosephhospice.com.
Perfect. I'll put that up on the chat here as well, so folks can click on that and send an email to Melanie. I know we've put the link also to the carpenterhealthnetwork.com as well. But friends, I want to encourage you, if you feel any little tug, a slight tug, I believe that's a calling for you to say, you know what, maybe this is something that I need to do. And if anything, just fill out the form. You may get in there and get in the training and you say, you know what, I appreciate the opportunity. Maybe this isn't for me, but at least you knew. Right. And I heard a friend one time tell me, and I've kept this with me. He said, you don't know unless you try.
Right.
And so sometimes you just need to step out and say, you know what, I'm going to try this. I'm going to give this a shot and see what I can do to help other people. I think it would be amazing. Yeah. What are the age groups? I did want to ask that because maybe there's you mentioned Sam Houston State University students. Josh is in college now. And what are the age requirements of someone to come in and volunteer? Okay, so actually it is 14 is the minimum. Wow. Of course, the parent would need to be present until they reach the age of 18. So 18 and up, solo. And I just wanted to bring one other thing up because we were talking about how sometimes it's scary to do, something like this. Just step out of your comfort zone, right? And it is a little scary at times, but I just want you to know. So once you are trained, you are not just thrown out on your own, okay? So I take the time to match you with a family who I feel like you would be a good fit with. I go with you your first visit to the family to be sure that everything is going to be, good with you and the family, make sure that you are a good fit. So I don't just give you an address and say, here you go. That's not the way it works. So I'm right there with you. It's nothing to be afraid of. And if for some reason you don't feel comfortable, then we move on to another family and go from there. So, yeah. I was with my wife's sweet grandmother there, and that what the nurse described as, and I'm trying to think of the words, but I think it's called active. You're actively passing away, is the way she put it. And she came into the room and said, yes, she's active now. And that's kind of when reality starts to settle in, because you see your loved one there and you think they're just going to wake up and give you a hug. Sometimes they do. Yeah. My great-grandmother, my mom told me the night before she passed, she had been kind of incoherent for the whole day. And that evening she sat up and said, Shirley, I want a bowl of ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had a bowl of ice cream and talked, and then in the morning she passed away. And that was such a sweet memory for my mother to be able to be there during that time. I bring this up just from a slight bit of experience with Miss Bond. I was able to go there, and although I wasn't there in the final moment, at first I was very sad, but as a believer and a Christian, I knew that she was getting ready to be in the arms of Jesus, and that brought so much comfort. This woman was such a wonderful, wonderful lady. We miss her so much. But I remember being there, and she wasn't very cognitive. At that moment, you know, the oxygen level starts to go down, and so when you're active, there's not a whole lot of things going on other than the breathing. But I just, in that moment, I've also heard from doctors and others that the sense of hearing is still there, and then in some cases they can still hear. And I'll never forget, and I grabbed her hand and I read scripture to her for about 15 minutes. And I was nervous at first, I'll be honest. I bring this up because I was nervous at first. I'd never been other than when I was a child, and your childhood memories flash so fast. I remember walking in right after my grandfather had passed away, and I remember it, but I don't remember the emotion of it. As you get older, you remember this and the emotion of things. And I remember this emotion. I was very nervous at first, but then I felt at peace because I knew she was a Christian. I knew she was about to be in the arms of Jesus. I knew that I'd get to see her again one day. And there was joy in that moment, and reading the scripture to her and holding her hand, there was peace. And I share that from a personal testimony that it was nothing that I was scared of or afraid of in that moment. And there was peace, and there was incredible joy. My wife had the unbelievable privilege of being there as her grandmother took her last breath. And of course, it was very emotional. That is your close loved one, and to see them. But again, there was that peace knowing, you know what, Granny's not suffering anymore, and she's with the Lord. And my wife told me, she goes, I would never, ever, ever regret being, she goes, that was an experience that I'm so thankful that I had the privilege of being there. My dad passed last June.
Oh, wow.
And we weren't there. And that breaks my heart that we couldn't, because it was so sudden with what happened with him with COPD and asphyxiation and all that. He was in the hospital. And that tears me up. I wasn't there to be with Dad in that moment. And so I want to encourage anybody, if you ever have the privilege, it is a privilege to be with somebody when they take their life. And I don't know that from firsthand experience, but I know it from my wife and my mother, who's a nurse. There was so many families that weren't present when their loved ones passed away in the nursing home. My mom was there with all of them. She was always, if she knew that somebody was active, she would she's like, when I get off, I'm staying. And she would stay with them because there was no one else to stay. She could not let somebody go without someone being there.
I think it is important to have someone with you. And that's very true at the nursing homes. A lot of the times there's no one there, you know? So let's be there while they're still living, you know. Let's go and you know, take them some flowers from HEB or from your own yard, you know. Let's go do a craft. Let's go just go visit, just go be there. Let them talk about how they feel, you know. That's what the volunteer program is all about, is being there while they're still here, you know.
And I wanted to be clear, I didn't want to mislead people, because some people may say, well, was hospice like the last stage? No, it's not the last stage, but they're in that process, you know, something's going on. And so, I mean, I've known people that have been put on hospice, and 2 years later they're still on hospice, you know. That happens. And people got to have relationships with them and get to know them and become friends with them. So I think the volunteering is so great.
Yes, it is. It is really a great program. It is a Medicare requirement. A lot of people don't know that. So most of your hospices, you know, have a volunteer program because we are required to. But it is a wonderful experience. I really can't imagine doing anything else. So like I said, when I had the opportunity to come back to hospice after being gone for a few years, I jumped on that. I was like, absolutely. And that's you know, that's what I want to do. So it is a wonderful service we provide for our communities, and I just feel really blessed to be a part of it.
I love it, Melanie. I wanted to share something with you as some encouragement. because I heard this a few weeks ago, and my brain is so bad I can't remember things. I have to write everything down.
I write everything
I'll forget
down
everything.
too. I write everything. I get it.
I heard this the other day, and as soon as I pulled in, and I kept repeating it over and over because it's like the telephone game in my brain. If Joshua would tell me something 10 minutes ago, and even if I kept repeating it, by the time I wrote it down, it would be totally different than what he told me. That's how bad my brain is. But I did write this down, and I knew that I got it word for word. And I thought of you when you were talking because I see the passion that you have for what you do, and that's so important. And I saw this, I heard this, and it says, sometimes what inspires you isn't what you end up doing. And I know in your life there was probably things that inspired you that maybe you chased and you did, but now you're living your purpose. And that was the end of this. It says sometimes what inspires you isn't what you end up doing. It's about finding your purpose. And just in the short time I've got to know you, and I say this as an encouragement to you, Melanie.
Thank you.
I believe this is truly your purpose because I can see it in your eyes and your heart and the way that you love people. So thank you.
Thank you. You would be right on by saying that. I feel that too. So
awesome.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Well, hey, here she is, Melanie Strickland, St. Joseph's Hospice. You have an opportunity to volunteer and to make a difference and to be with somebody who needs somebody. Be that person today, especially guys. Step up, guys. Step up. Maybe they even like McDonald's snack wrap. You can, if you're if you're a McDonald's guy like Joshua over here.
Yeah, I have a volunteer that takes her. her patient Burger King because she likes Burger King. So
There you go. All right. Well, Melanie, thank you. So it's been such a privilege to have you.
Thank you so much for having me
Yes,
here.
you bet. And please let us know. Keep us updated. And any information, releases, send those to us. We'll publish them on the website.
Okay.
And we'll help continue to promote that information.
All right.
For
Thank you so much.
You bet. Josh, do you have any other final questions? Anything?
It was nice to meet you both.
All righty.
Thank you so much.
Well, we'll take a brief break. Josh and I got a few other things to break down as we continue on. It is your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville here on a very thankful Thursday, brought to you by First Baptist Church, a harbor of hope here in our community, online at fbchuntsville.org. Stay with us. More to come here on a thankful Thursday. Don't go anywhere.
Hip Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit f.org. First Baptist Church, Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope.
Looking for the perfect office space? Drive success with premier office spaces in Huntsville at Huntsville Executive Office Suites. Raven Property Management has moved in and we're on site ready to give you a tour at 2503 Lake Road. Whether you're a startup, small business, or an established company, our Class A offices provide the professional environment you need to thrive. Flexible leases, modern amenities, and a prime location. This is where business gets done. Execute your success today. Visit huntsvilleworkspace.com to schedule your tour.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
Spirit of Huntsville, Spirit of Huntsville, Spirit
94.3. All right. Well, keep that. What's that? Keep that. You don't listen to Johnny Cash.
I have. There are a few songs that I listen to.
I knew that I liked you, Joshua. I always thought that I liked you. But the more I've talked to you, the more I've liked you, buddy.
Yeah, we have a lot in common.
Man, I hear that train a-coming.
I don't know that song.
Oh, come. Never mind. Take back what I just said, buddy. Right around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since. It was really cool. We used to broadcast Georgetown High School and Bryan College Station. Every year, Georgetown's really good. They go to the playoffs every year. We'd play at a place called Bomber Stadium in Bryan. Bomber. And what was cool about Bomber Stadium is it's the Brazos Valley Bombers, a little team over there, a little semi-pro team. It's kind of like the Savannah Bananas. You've been keeping up with those. Where did those guys come from?
I don't watch sports.
Yeah, but the Savannah Bananas have millions of followers, and it's one guy owns it. And there's tens of thousands of people that go to their base. They do like backflips and stuff while they play baseball. It's entertainment baseball. Savannah Bananas. If back in the day it could have been like Savannah Banana hosted by Hannah Montana. Oh. That's a tongue twister. Say that 10 times fast. Savannah Banana, Hannah Montana.
Savannah Banana, Hannah Montana.
Pretty good. There you go. You did it. I don't even know why I was talking about all that. Anyways. Oh, yeah, the Brazos Valley Bombers. So there was a train track that went behind there, and during every broadcast that we would have, that train, picture this. I know I joke around a lot, but I want people just to take a moment and realize how blessed we are and how proud we are to be an American. Amen. Close your eyes, friends, wherever you're at. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. If you're a surgeon listening to this morning show, don't close your eyes. I know many surgeons listen to our show while they're performing surgery. It's very important. Close your eyes and imagine you're sitting up high at a baseball stadium. Behind the baseball stadium, there's a train track. And every so often, this beautiful, magnificent Union Pacific locomotive comes chugging along. You hear it from your right ear as it starts to come through. Chugga, 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 chugga.
I was about to do that.
I think I can. I know I can. It's not saying that, by the way. But you hear that train a-coming, right? And as your eyes are closed, imagine you're at this ballpark. The Union Pacific train is coming, that beautiful, majestic yellow color it has. But even what's more American, and I'm closing my eyes picturing this because I see it right now, it's got the beautiful American flag on the side of that locomotive. I'm sitting there calling a baseball game. I see the train a-coming. I see the American flag. Does it get any better than that? And well, it does, because one day we're going to go to heaven if we believe in the Lord. But you see that train, and it's right behind the baseball stadium, and then it hits its horn. I don't know what the train sounds like, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And every time that would happen on the broadcast, I got to find some clips. I would start going. I would tell my buddy Galen Welnicki used to do the games with me, and Dennis Allman. Dennis Allman. Man, that's a great name. Dennis Allman. Dennis Allman used to do the games with me as well. And I remember those two guys. We'd sit there, and I'd start singing Johnny Cash. Hey, boys, y'all hear it? We hear it, Rob. I hear that train a-coming. Right? And I would sing that song as the train would come across the baseball behind the stadium. Oh, it's beautiful. Fun. Nothing more American than a Union Pacific locomotive with that beautiful American flag painting on the side. Have you seen it on the trains here?
No.
Oh, man, buddy. Come on, man.
But there's a football stadium for a school down, I think, in Conroe or, like, the Woodlands. And there's a train that passes by. And, I saw that last year.
I'm gonna show this to folks real quick. I guess my uncle. I never thought I was a train guy, and all of a sudden here I am talking about train. My uncle's a big train guy. He really is. I love my uncle. No, he was like into model trains and stuff. He's huge into this stuff, and I love him to pieces. I learned a lot from my uncle. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Look at that thing, man. That big old locomotive. And you guys are like, Rob, get off the locomotive kick. If you don't think that's great, man, you need to go study something, because that big old bad boy, and I even left out one of the other things. Look at what it says right there.
Building America.
Building America. They need to have like a Cooter Roberson voice. You don't know Cooter, but he used to be he's the voice of Huntsville. He was for almost 40 years. And Cooter should be on here saying, Union Pacific, the old locomotive 6071, building America. You feeling that, buddy?
Yeah, with the mighty bold eagle
from the mountains of. Oh, we can do like a. They don't do. What am I trying to say? They don't do narration anymore for movie trailers. They used to. They don't do them much anymore. But I can already sense this right now. From the mountains of Lebanon. To the East Texas Lone Star Pride. The boy with the curly hair and a bearcat in his heart. It's Joshua Mashi. Mariachi, Mariasha, Mariashasha.
We need to find that clip from American Idol. Like, we were talking about that before the show started. But yet last night I saw this clip from American Idol of a weird guy just doing the actual song. And he's like, Mariachi, Mariasha. And like, they're like, what the heck is that?
People don't. If you don't know, Linda Horn, you're watching, so I want you to know. Don't tune out because I'm getting crazy. But Linda, we love you, and Richard. But there's a song that goes Maria, she Maria. Ha. Madeline knows this song. She's singing it right now. She's like, man, that's my favorite song. I can't believe you knew that one. And Joshua's last name is Mashi, so every time I see Joshua, I always say Maria, she Maria, sha, Maria, hasha. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, do us a favor. Let us know that you're out there. Many people joining us this morning as we continue on. A few other things that I wanted to go over real quick. Let's talk a little bit about doom scrolling. Doom scrolling, okay?
Oh, dear.
All right. Going to the bathroom, I won't go into details, is a everyday occurrence. Everyone goes. There's a book about it for children. Everybody goes to the bathroom, right? Americans spend 4.5 days a year doom scrolling while they are on the toilet. That's 6,480 minutes of TikTok and bad news from the otherwise known porcelain throne. So many people don't want to admit it, but everyone listening right now does it. They all are on their phone when they use the restroom.
That's me. The video that I was talking about last night.
That's where you found it.
That's where I found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have like 30 minutes. I have like 30 minutes on my YouTube and like 30 minutes on my Instagram. And so and then my phone locks after that. Like the apps lock.
Oh, you've got a locker on it.
Yeah.
That's a good man right there.
Bear holds me accountable.
Lock it up, Bear.
But I save my YouTube time just for the bathroom. Like, I use my Instagram time all the time.
You designate your YouTube
but
time.
It's just for the bathroom because, like, I sit there, like, it's boring without a phone, you know?
It's crossword puzzles, man. Come on, let's go old school. My uncle, the same uncle I was talking about, literally had like this little case on the wall. Or no, it's always the older homes always had the sink right next to the toilet with the cabinet, and it had the little magazine shelf. You know what I'm talking about? Like the little magazine holder. Dude had like 50 crossword puzzles in that thing, and they were all. And I'd get annoyed when I was young because they were always used. I was like, "Come on, man! I want to do a crossword puzzle." They were already done. If you're done with the crosswords, throw them out. So I would sit there as like a 12-year-old, and I'm not going to get too deep into this. As you get older, things take a little bit longer. You know, as a 12-year-old, you're in and out. As you get older, things don't really move as quickly, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so, but even then, it was a little bit of time for me. And I would go through those crossword puzzle books, and every one of them would be filled out. I was like, what is the point of having these? They were already solved for me. So, yeah, 4.5 days a year. I think it's even more than that, to be honest. It was on this day in 1985 that Coca-Cola brought back its original formula, after the new Coke debacle. Did you ever hear about this?
Where they had like cocaine in Coke?
Well, no, that was a long time ago, yes. But they changed in 1985, they wouldn't have done that. That was already highly illegal by then. But they came out with a new formula, and they called it New Coke. People despised it so much that they went back, and that's why to this day, even the Coke cans will say the original formula or whatever. A lot of them, if you look, it'll say the original formula because of what happened in 1985 when they decided for a short time that they were going to go to this new revolutionary mix, and it was not that great.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but that's it. So that was the last time, by the way, that America united over a soda flavor, and now we fight to call it. Now we argue: is it soda or pop?
It's soda.
It's soda. See, thank you. Lebanon's got it down, man.
We don't have Coke in Lebanon though.
What do you have?
Pepsi.
Do y'all have Fanta?
No. So
what's a Lebanese soda? Is there a certain brand up there that's like big time, like Lebanonu?
No, I don't think so. But for the longest while, we had Coke, and then 2019 there was the economic crisis in Lebanon, and like a few months later, Coke and all its brands like Fanta, Sprite, they withdrew from Lebanon, and so Pepsi's still there.
They withdrew.
Yeah, like
did this cause some unrest? Like people were angry.
I was angry because I was a big Coke fan, and then I went to Lebanon again like this summer, and I tried Pepsi, and I'm like, Pepsi's so good.
Oh, what?
Yes, Pepsi is so good.
Pepsi's not that great, buddy.
No.
All right. There was well, we're not going to read that one. A couple of quick hits for you today. It's National Kitten Day. Aww. Let me hear your best purr, Josh. Mine has a little flavor to it.
Jason should be on the show.
Yeah, he would. Jason, he probably would. We could get Pastor Bay to do this, man. Oh no, Jason Thompson.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about.
National Pina Colada Day. If you like getting caught in the rain, by the way, it's National Pina Colada Day. And celebrate responsibly. Don't give your kitten a pina colada today. is what we're going to say here. Those are the bad dad jokes. A couple of other things. Is there any birthdays today besides my son, Joshua? Do you know of anybody today? Oh, there was somebody yesterday that had a birthday.
Yeah. My brother's birthday was yesterday.
James had a birthday yesterday, so we want to say happy birthday to J-Dog. You got a nickname for your brother?
Sambusik.
What?
Yeah.
Sambusik.
Yeah, it's actually, if you look it up.
What does that mean?
It's meat stuffed with meat.
It's meat stuffed with sambusik. So why do you call your brother
Actually, no, never mind. It's not meat stuffed with meat. It's like, it's really good. It's like a.
Sounds like a protein.
It's a fried. It's fried. It's what's it called? Like
sambusik.
Dough. It's dough and stuffed with like meat, and it's fried.
Yeah, we call that a fried pig in the blanket here.
Yeah, no, but it's so much better. Like. Look it up.
So is he like a doughboy that's fried? Is that what y'all call him, sambusik?
No. I don't know why it's called sambusik. It's really good.
Yesterday was former Huntsville Hornet great Bun Shelley. I used to broadcast Bun's games back in the day, and I would always go, Bun Shelley. A friend of mine, Paul Klepak, today, 44, buddy. Brian Foster, 74 today. Happy birthday, Brian. Ruffin Nelm's birthday today. Hey, check this out. Old buddy of mine, Josh, turning 41 today. Coach, my old coach back in the day, 49 years old today. Boy, that's crazy. He was my coach when I was in 8th or 9th grade.
He was like 18?
No. Yeah, he was. I remember this guy.
Crazy.
He was really, and he wore those really, the cool Oakleys back in the day that everybody had to, and he wore that ridiculous, like, necklace that was, I don't know, it was like, twine necklace. I don't remember what it was. That was the trend. But
was it gold?
No. We're talking like it was some sort of weird like twine with y'all are too young for this. But anyways, it was really dumb. It's one of those things that you look back on. It's like all you young people now that wear with the chubby shorts or whatever, and your thighs are like right here. Men that wear those. Quit wearing those, please.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Like the shorts.
Yes, the young men wear those short shorts. Start pulling mine down. Now they're starting to turn into that. But they wear shorts like to here. Why? Why is that a trend with guys? Quit wearing those. I'm glad you don't, Josh.
Yeah, well, yesterday.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yesterday I was peer pressured into buying short shorts.
Don't, please.
And I bought them, but they look so good. The color is so cool.
No,
It's
they
like
don't.
peach.
No.
Peach color shorts.
No, dude, no.
They're swim shorts. They're like till here.
Okay, well, that's acceptable. I mean, there's some guys that, like, have them, like, halfway. I'm like, come on, guys, man.
Yeah.
And then it's cool. It's like, I'm wearing my shorts. This is why young people don't watch my show, by the way, because I'm knocking them, you know? I'm just kidding.
You got to start showing them some grace.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of grace, my dad had, like, books in the bathroom, and they were, like, theology books. So
Doom reading. But that would be great reading, right?
Yeah, I know.
Let me tell you what I learned today in the last 30 minutes. So anyways, happy birthday to all of you that are out there. I got some weird news for you today. A lot of people get tattoos. You know, it doesn't bother me, to be honest. My dad had one that said Texas Rebel on it.
Madeline has some tattoos.
Madeline does. What does yours say, Madeline? Ah, while I breathe, I hope. She said it very elegantly, though, in Latin. Madeline, you don't have to come on camera real quick, but here, take the microphone for us. Madeline's here real quick. We're going to toss you the microphone. Here, like, slide it on over there real quick. Madeline doesn't – she charges me for name, image, and likeness, by the way. So, yes, you have to say that the way you just said it in that tone of voice. It sounded like you were, like, from, like, Britain or some really cool place. Okay, ready, Madeline? What does it say?
Doom Spiro Sparrow. Whoa, I can hear myself.
Doom Spiro Sparrow.
Yes.
The Spiro Sparrow of the Doom.
You said.
Can you say it in French? Do you know French? Well, yeah, she's trying to peek around the corner. Oh, there she is. So that's cool. How long have you had that?
Since I was 19.
Doom Sparrow.
My parents finally told me, okay, you can get a tattoo. But they thought when they told me that, it would be like, you would tell me, okay, I'm going to get a tattoo, Mom. But I didn't say anything. And so I jump scared my mom, and it was bad. My grandma didn't like it, but I like it.
Okay, there you go. Madeline with it. Dooms. I just wanted her to say that in her voice. Doom Sparrow Sparrow. Thank you, Madeline. See you later. We have to pay her for appearances, but she charges us way too much money. First time we were sitting down meeting, I was like, hey, can you record? Well, actually, I get paid for my voice. And I was like, okay, whatever, Madeline. So we ended the meeting, and that was it.
And then you fired her?
No, I'm just kidding. Oh, that's pretty cool. It was, so anyways, I mentioned that because at 19, you know, it says the goofy tattoo you got at 19. Turns out it might actually reveal your personality.
Oh, we need her back on and ask her what her personality is like.
That's pretty cool, though. So if you've got one, though, of a unicorn eating pizza, research says that you're spontaneous and artsy. Or maybe just hungry and impulsive. No, that's a joke, by the way, according to this. Today in history is 1890. Really important. Wyoming became a state on this day in 1890.
Wyoming's one of my favorite states.
Well, they almost called it Oming.
Oh, no.
But everybody was like, Wyoming? And that's how Wyoming came about. Get it? Does that make sense?
Why?
Madeline, did you get that joke? You know, Wyoming, they almost called it. It's just a bad joke. So they added Y so everybody would be quiet about it. So
Wyoming.
Wyoming. Jeff Bergman, the voice of Bugs Bunny and Daffy. Can you do a Daffy Duck voice?
No. What's that, Duck?
No, that's Bugs Bunny, right?
Yeah, that's all I could do.
Well, he's 65 today. 65 years old. The voice of Bugs Bunny and Daffy. I can't even do it.
You sound like Donald Duck.
Oh, yeah, Donald Duck. That was him. Anyways.
Daffy had lips. He didn't sound like a duck. He just...
He had what?
Lisp?
Like a lisp?
Yeah, lisp. I said lips.
Yeah. All right, real quick. Couple of last things here. I'm doing this on the fly, by the way, because my radio prep that I get didn't have it. Apparently, we're not going to read it. You have to be careful whenever you see these things. Have you seen this before?
And apparently,
Oklahoma has. I'm going to ask my cousins. They live in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Apparently, Oklahoma has passed a law that allows live roosters to battle robot chickens. Okay?
Oh, dear.
And I mean, and this has official sources here, as long as none of the real birds get hurt.
What?
So, yes.
So the robots can never win. So all my money's on the chicken.
Yes. Can you believe that, though? Oklahoma. KFC apparently has entered. Have you heard about this? KFC is apparently introducing toothpaste that tastes like fried chicken.
That is gross.
Imagine brushing your teeth with a burst of 11 herbs and spices.
Wait, guess what? In Lebanon, there's a fried chicken flavored chips.
Oh, are they good?
I didn't try them.
People used to say dill pickle chips were terrible, and I ate them, and they're really good. Dill pickle flavored chips are unbelievable.
I just like salt and vinegar. I just want the classic. I don't want anything else.
Here's something. Talking about memory loss, there was a 64-year-old. Guess what he swallowed and forgot about it?
Oh, dear.
Speaking of toothpaste, he swallowed a toothbrush, forgot about the toothbrush. A retired man in China discovered a 7-inch toothbrush lodged in his intestine. How do you forget about this? And how did he discover it was lodged in his intestine? Does he have like some off of Temu, like some sort of scanner, or something? He swallowed this thing at the age of 12, and he forgot about it for 52 years until it finally caused discomfort.
Ew, that is gross.
Man, delayed reaction from that guy. There was a chimney rescue that went incredibly wrong in Connecticut. A man in Bristol tried to save his dog from a locked restroom by shimmying down the chimney. So the dog locked in the restroom. Why would you shimmy down a chimney, though, for this? Anyways, he got stuck, forced firefighters to tear the chimney apart. This caused up to $10,000 in damage. The moral of the day is call for help. Don't call Santa if you need somebody to go down the chimney. I did see this the other day, too. There's a giant bee tornado, bee tornado in Manhattan. I did hear about this. New Yorkers got spooked recently. A huge swarm of bees formed a tornado in Midtown, down in Manhattan. One NYU student called it the actualization of my biggest fear.
That is crazy.
I don't know how it was a student sitting around saying, "Oh, I'm so worried one day that a bee tornado is going to come my way."
Well, how did they come up with a shark tornado?
No idea. This bizarre insect swarm, by the way, it's part of a summer wave enveloping cities across the United States. That out of the New York Post. And then finally, a woman in Thailand had to visit the hospital 3 times. 3 times after swallowing a fish bone while eating soup. She went to the hospital 3 times, swallowing a fish bone after eating. How do you go 3 times? Do you go back and eat the soup again, swallow it again, go back?
No, I think every time, the first time they didn't see anything. The second time it hurts more.
Well, apparently it's harder than you think to extract these things out of you. So she had to go back 3. I guess they didn't get all of it out. So there is some of your news that Jason would call news you can use. We haven't had that segment in a couple of weeks. So, well, hey, I do want to switch gears before we wrap up. This will be our last segment, by the way. We're not going to take a final break. I've got to get over to our Family Life Center. It's 9 o'clock. Donation drive is open right now, so please come down, be a part of our donation drive. We do need help as we continue to help our friends. My buddy is still got held up in that meeting there in San Angelo, but we will be accepting items now through 6 p.m. this evening. So please come and let's help out our friends. Visa gift cards would be huge right now. Also, masks that we talked about, bug spray, Gatorade, size 6 to 7 diapers, anything that you would like that could make a difference. Go ahead and bring it. I say anything. Please don't unload your garage and bring us stuff we don't need. And people, and I know people give out of the kindness of their heart. We had people bring a bunch of dishes, and unfortunately, people aren't going to be able to use that. We still accepted it because we're going to host a garage sale and take the funds from that and give those funds, 100% of them, directly to flood victims. And a lot of this, the tragedy, I got a little emotional yesterday, and I'll try not to here, but hearing stories of children, man, it hits you so hard. And Josh, I wanted to touch base on something real quick, and this would be really good for you to follow along with me on this, because I know your heart, man. I had an opportunity yesterday, and I'll make this brief. I know we got to go, but as a parent for me now, things hit really different and kind of tore up pretty often when I hear something with children, because one, I know how innocent little children are. Children are a miracle. All of us are a miracle. The fact that we're here and breathing is a miracle, but especially little children, because they're learning, they're growing, they're developing, and it's so tough when you hear about these things happening. I had a guy yesterday that was talking to me, and not just the children, but he was talking about just in general. And we had a great discussion for probably 30 minutes. And he said, well, let me ask you a question. And he goes, I'm just asking. He said, why do these things happen when we have such a loving God? And, you know, years ago, and I was telling you this yesterday, I said, you know, years ago it would have been hard for me to answer that question. One, we don't fully understand. That's not why we're here. We can't understand why all these things happen. But one reason that we do know why any type of sickness or destruction happens is because of sin. Sin is literally defined in the Bible as a separation from God, and that's what we ended up having a discussion about that. And by the time we were done, he goes, man, because all these years, and I've had a lot of really great pastors, but they go at length in describing this. When Pastor Bay here at first said it so simply, that just finally after 41 years clicked because of sin. And people try to read too much into all of these other things, and we will never fully understand. We'll understand when we get to heaven.
Yeah.
But we don't understand here. And I think that it's something that's important that we know that sin is real, and sin does separate us from God. And maybe, can you highlight maybe kind of a little bit of your thoughts on that, Josh? You know, why do these type of things happen? Just as that guy asked me, maybe your take on it.
Do you think darkness is real?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Well, darkness doesn't exist. It's the absence of light. And so the same thing with like we can say there is darkness because we know that there is light. And the same thing with us. We know that there is a God because of the bad things that happen in this world and because of sin. This proves that there is like someone greater than us who is in control of everything. And even though his heart breaks for the hurt and the people who are hurting right now in the hill country, because he allows these things to happen, because right now the god of this world is the enemy, small g God. It's Satan.
Mm-hmm.
He's in control because right now sin is still reigning in us. And God allows these things to happen for a reason. I know in Syria there was a lady who got kicked out of her home. She was a really rich person in Syria, but because of the situation in Syria, she had to leave, and she went to Lebanon. And she asked my uncle, who's a pastor, and she asked him, after hearing my uncle share the gospel with her and everything, she asked him, hey, why does God allow this to happen in our lives? Like, I was really good. I was really comfortable in my life. Like, everything was good. And he asked her, if that didn't happen in your life, would you have heard the gospel? And she was like, no. And she started crying. And a few weeks later, she accepted the Lord, and now she's a believer because of the situation that she passed through in Syria. And so it's really like the Bible says, give thanks in every circumstance. And obviously right now a lot of people are hurting. And like, take it to the Lord, because the Lord, like he lived and he became human, and he humbled himself to become a human, so he could feel our pain and sufferings. He lived 32 years on earth. And the Lord like felt every pain that we felt. And he relates to us. And so take everything to the Lord. Take it in prayer. A blessing that we have here on earth that we will never have in heaven is that we can praise the Lord through the pain and sufferings.
Yeah, because we won't have pain and suffering in heaven, man.
And I saw a video of girls coming back from camp while there was a flood and everything.
Worshiping.
They were worshiping.
Yeah, I saw that too, yeah.
And really, like, the Lord sees that, and he will reward that faithfulness.
Yeah. Man, that's good, Josh. That's why I wanted to ask you. I'm just so thankful to be your friend, man. I'm so thankful how the Lord has worked in your life. And I told you this last week. I look up to you as I'm I won't say considerably older than you, but I'm a little bit older than you. And I think the Lord is working in such a powerful way in your life, Josh. You're at a fraction of where God has you right now. I truly believe that, man. And I think the Lord has anointed you so much, Josh, that you're going to impact so many generations, especially so many young people that need to hear a message of hope. And I see, and I have a sense and a feeling. You know, I've been on this earth 41 years. Now the first 15, it's hard to remember, you know, when you're growing up. But I feel like that there's a tremendous move right now, and a lot of it really I think started happening after COVID because there's a sense of community. People want to be part of something. They want to come back together, and we're seeing that. And I want people to. There's a lot of divisiveness going on in our country and our nation. I think if we would put all the politics aside and just get back to the root of things, just like with this donation effort, we're seeing people come together. And I want to encourage you. Here's one final thought. Get rid of all the pettiness. If you feel that somebody's wronged you for something so minuscule, because let's be honest, most of it is in the grand scheme of things, you got to move past that, man, especially in times of need. And I'm so thankful. I've had friends come together. There's friends that I haven't talked to in a while that have reached out to me, and nothing bad. But this time is when people come back together. And that's one other thing I wanted to mention. If you haven't heard from somebody in 3 or 4 years, don't think it's because they don't like you or they don't think anything of you. It's people get busy, especially my best friend. I talk to him maybe twice a year. You know, it's one of my really close friends. And he's still a close friend because I know right now I could call him and he'd answer and we'd talk for 3 hours if we needed to. But he's married. He's got children. He's living his life. I'm living my life. And just because we don't talk every single day doesn't mean that we're still really close friends. We are.
Yeah.
Now, there's another very close friend of mine, Joshua Harris, that I talk to every day. But especially during these times, put away all the pettiness. You've got to step out of the I am, because it's not all about I. It's about us. And it's not even all about us. It's about him. And when I say him, it's the Lord that reigns over us, our sovereign God. And I love how this show has taken a direction of its own, you know, to where we can talk about these things. My plan was just to get on here and talk about Huntsville every day, and God has opened up so many new avenues and new doors. And my prayer every day, whether you're a believer or not, is that you come to know the Lord through this show, that you come to know hope, that you come to know grace, and you come to know that there is somebody out there that cares about you and loves you. Not only people here on this earth, but most importantly, you've got a Heavenly Father who loves you. And if we don't get on here and talk about that often and say it, then I'm not even doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I told a friend of mine the other day, man, I thought my calling was sports broadcasting and NFL, NBA. A mentor of mine said, dude, you're 5 years away from it. And I was so excited, right? Oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden things change unexpectedly. And I look back, and there was a season of extreme bitterness and I look back, and it's petty, right? Now it's petty. I was like, that was so petty of me to think about this thing and this huge thing that I made it so big when it didn't have to be. And that's what I was saying earlier. When you find, sometimes you think what your inspiration is what drives you, and it's really finding your purpose. And now at 41, I told my buddy yesterday, friend of mine that I still talk, I used to work with him all the time. Now we don't get to work a lot together, but I congratulated him on something yesterday, and I said, you know, man, it took a long time, but I finally found my purpose. And my encouragement is somebody out there today doesn't know their purpose, just keep seeking God in prayer, and he's going to reveal what that purpose is. And it may take a day, a year, 10 years, 100 years, who knows? But God's going to reveal that to you. So anyways, I know it's a long on ramble, but I had to say it. So
Well, you can find your purpose and identity through Christ.
Amen.
The only way, God can speak to us a lot of times, but almost every time he speaks to us through his word.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Go to the word and listen to what the Lord is telling you.
Awesome. Well, Josh, thank you, man. It's been a fun morning. Great morning here. And please come out today until 6 o'clock. Our fundraiser continues. We will be leaving early tomorrow morning. We'll have the show, and then we're going to try to get out of here right away. So we've got a busy day. As I end every show, reminding you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We're really not, friends. Please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. I guarantee somebody out there needs you. Come by and see us on Sunday. We're talking about hope and encouragement and what your plan and your purpose is. You can discover that here at First Baptist. Come join us, and don't let the word Baptist throw you off. You know, sometimes people get denominationally focused. There's a lot of things of the Baptist theology that I agree with. And that's why I choose to be here at First Baptist. But I've been to churches all over. I'm going to tell you, this church feels no different. And I don't say that in a negative way, but I've been full of a lot of spirit-filled churches where God is moving in such a mighty, powerful way. And this church feels just like God's moving here as he did at numerous other churches. And so I want to encourage you, if you're looking for a place to where you're looking for hope, we call First Baptist a harbor of hope for a reason, because we believe that hope is truly found and only found through Jesus Christ. Come and be part of our family. Come visit. We're not going to put you on the stage. We're not going to toss your name out there and make you feel uncomfortable. We just want you to come. And if you want to sit by yourself, sit by yourself. If you want to sit with people, sit with people. We got a seat waiting for you. We have people from all walks of life, all different cultures. So cool, like your family from Lebanon. So many different ages. We've got babies all the way to a lady that's 102. So it's a great time. Come see us Sunday at 10:45. That'll wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow. Billy Cawthon, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, here with us. So make sure you stay locked in as we continue promoting and celebrating the good here in Huntsville. Good morning. God bless you. And so long. We'll see you guys on the other side. Josh, thanks for being here today, man. See ya.
Take care.
I was running, couldn't find my way, caught in the chaos of another day. Shadows chasing, dreams were wearing thin, but your love broke through, calling me again. You saw me drown and reached into the deep, pulled me from the wreckage, now I believe. You turn it all around, you make the ashes beautiful. Your mercy rains down, breaking every chain. I'm whole, I'm not a victim, no, I'm living free. Jesus, you are my victory, oh, my victory, my victory. Every lie I believed is gone. Your truth is my anthem. You're where I belong. You're the fire burning in my soul. You've redeemed me. Now I'm fully known. When I was empty, you poured out your grace. Now my life is yours and I lift my praise. You turn it all around.